Game ball time with the five-time NFL Executive of the Year, Scott Pioli. Scott, it's the best reality show on television week after week, and Week 12 does not disappoint. You know how it goes. We start with your team of the week. Who takes top billing?
Joey, it's got to be the Jacksonville Jaguars and that huge upset they had today, 28-27 over the Baltimore Ravens. Again, you look at this game, and that 10-play, 80-yard drive engineered by Trevor Lawrence was probably the best drive of his career, and certainly one of the most important. He throws that touchdown pass to Marvin Jones, 5 yards out with only 14 seconds remaining. Huge day for Trevor Lawrence as he put together 29 of 37 for 321 yards, 3 TDs, and a career-high pass rating of 129.8. You know, this was an interesting call, though, at the end of the game when the Jaguars are down 27-26. After this touchdown, Doug Peterson makes the call to go for 2 and the lead, and it pays off. He wasn't the only coach that did it this week. And it was the 2-point play was converted by Zay Jones, who also had a career day, 11 receptions for 145 yards. Big team win, because when you look at the other side of the ball, the Jaguars defense finally buckled down in the red zone today. They held the Ravens to just 1 conversion on 4 attempts in the red zone, and the Ravens were only 1 of 3 in goal-to-go situations. Now, looking back, right now, the Jaguars scored 18 points in the fourth quarter, the most that they've scored since 2019. And we look at these numbers right here, Joey. In 2022, the Ravens are giving up the most points of any team in the entire NFL, and that ain't going to help you in the fourth quarter, even if it is the alleged lowly Jaguars.
Yeah, it's a tough team to put your finger on when you're talking about the Baltimore Ravens and sort of the variance and outcome that we've seen from them this season. But as you said, for Trevor Lawrence, 300+, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, the game of his career thus far, and a collective exhale from those hoping that the shoulders of Trevor Lawrence can be the ones to bear the weight of that franchise. Let's talk about individuals here, because Lawrence could have made a case here for player of the week. A number of players could, but your top offensive player goes to who?
Well, I'll say this, Joey. We have to acknowledge Josh Jacobs, who you guys just talked about in the last segment. Josh Jacobs has a career day, 303 scrimmage yards today. And I believe you said it was a Raiders record, right? We had a Raiders record today. So after Josh Jacobs, I'm going to go with Mike White of the New York Jets. Robert Saleh made a huge decision this week. Benches Zach Wilson. In comes Mike White, who goes 22 of 28 for 315, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns, and only his 4th career start. He did it in the rain. But here's the thing, Joey, as I watch this game, his confidence, his poise in the pocket, he had a number of throws where he had to move or he was getting hit right after he released the ball. Really did a fantastic job. His passer rating today, get this, Joey, was 149.3, the best of any Jets quarterback since, wait for it, Joey, Geno Smith back in 2014. That's a lot of games played. So again, my game ball on offense goes to Mike White, who again also completed passes to 10 different receivers, hit Garrett Wilson, hit Elijah Moore for touchdowns. So to me, fantastic job today by Mike White, and he helped his head coach out a lot by the decision that he made.
Yeah, it's a lot of games between then and 2014. Also, unfortunately for Jets fans, a lot of quarterbacks between those 2 dates as well. Mike White shows up and shows out in this one. Let's talk defense now as well, because there were some great performances here, stifling defensive performances all over the NFL. Who took the top note on yours?
Joey, I'm going to go back to this Jaguars game and talk about Foye Oluokun, who actually we drafted at the Atlanta Falcons in 2018 as a 6th-round pick. Foye last year with the Falcons led the NFL with 192 tackles. It was the 2nd most tackles in the NFL since 1994, when Chris Spielman had 195. So Foye today had 18 tackles in the upset over the Ravens. 2 of those tackles were for a loss. Again, Foye has gone on and very quietly had a terrific career. Again, last year, one of the most prolific seasons in NFL history in terms of tackles. And last year, he left the Falcons, gets a 3-year deal, $15 million a year. Foye showed up today and rewarded the Jaguars for the big contract they gave him in the offseason.
It is always a reward when our Scott Pioli is in the building and talking ball. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Joey.
Saints and the Niners in Santa Clara. 49ers riding a bit of a win streak themselves here. Jimmy G coming off a 4-touchdown performance in a win against the Cardinals. Tied a career high there. Opening drive, 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 40. Alvin Kamara rushing up the middle. Ball! This is a San Francisco defense that flies around, and you'll see it all game long in this one. Fred Warner punching the ball free would lead to a Niners field goal. 19 seconds left in the first half. Trying to get the end zone. Ball tipped, and Juwan Jennings says, thank you. Deflected by Tyrann Mathieu, but Jennings follows that one with his eyes and hauls it in. Niners up 10-0. Jimmy in the first half, 20 of 28, $175 and a touchdown. Completions to 7 different targets. Manage this. Saints held scoreless through 3 quarters, trying to get something going. Early 4th, down 13-0. Taysom Hill avoids the pressure. Rolls left, pass going to fall incomplete. But Nick Bosa going to be flagged for roughing the passer. Bosa put a lick there on Hill. Niners defense offering a lifeline to the Saints offense. 2nd and goal at the San Francisco 6, going in. Kamara to the end zone. No, ball's out again. Pride in pursuit. Tell me this Niners defense doesn't know that they haven't given up a point in the second half in forever. Kamara, 2 lost fumbles for the first time in his career. It was Talanoa Hufanga forcing that fumble. Next Saints possession, maybe another chance, 3rd and goal. Hill can't haul that one in, so we're going to look at 4th and goal. Dalton, back to throw. Forget the 3. We want 6. Nick Bosa says, you'll get nothing and you'll like it. 49ers win it 13-0. Their 4th straight second half shutout, which ties the longest streak in Super Bowl era recorded history. The Saints shut out for the first time in 332 games. That was the longest active streak, 2001, Week 17, the last time they posted a goose egg. But you ran into a buzzsaw of a defense here in San Francisco who hasn't given up second half points in over a month. 13-0. Again, your final here as the Niners improved to 7-4. It's their best 11-game start since 2019 when they started 10-1 and reached the Super Bowl. So perhaps in this parity-driven NFC, San Francisco edging out the rest as the Birds have something to say for themselves, no doubt. But the Niners and their defense came to play on Sunday. The W's, that's the column that we find the San Francisco 49ers in as they now improve to 7-4 on the season following a 13-0 performance against the New Orleans Saints. And that goose egg will tell you something. Is San Francisco defensive unit flying around, swarming to the ball, and keeping that 0 on the scoreboard. Now 6.5 quarters of scoreless football by that defense consecutively. And furthermore, they have not allowed a point in the second half since the 4th quarter of a Week 7 loss to the Chiefs. That was October 23rd. Spotless in the second half since, as the Niners are again winners in Santa Clara. All right, guys, let's start right there because this defense, they understand the moment. You could see them swarm into the football, especially in the red zone. A late takeaway to maintain that 0 on the scoreboard. B-Mac, I want to go to you here.